Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to DC Universe Online. I am Trexlight, and I know it's been a while since we've done a DCUO video, and so I've now stepped away from Black Ember, stepped away from the fire, from the tank and DPS, and I'm now here on my character Feet Hunter. That he's been out of work lately. He hasn't been doing any feats recently, and I dusted him off because I missed him so much. I missed really what he does. And if you're asking what he does, well, first off, he's a flyer, so he likes to fly around. Second, he likes long walks on the beach. He likes finding things. He does. He's a little collector. But what he's also capable of is he is my mental controller. I am working on a gadgets controller as well, just because I like to work on, well, everything, because this game is like that. You just want to try and do everything in every character. But we're going to be taking a look at how the mental controller works. If I do a mental DPS, it will be later down the road, but I truly don't see myself doing it, so I'm going to try and give you guys a little bit of insight on how to do DPS, alright? So, mess with the camera a little bit. So, let's see what we can work with here, alright? Let's go ahead and take a look at our spec first. Ooh, I got a skill point. Let me go ahead and just do something with that. Let me check my flight. So, I have flight. And so I have my supersonic, I have my restraints as well, my breakout mastery. Once you hit level 30 and you respec for the first time, you need to go ahead and respec yourself into your breakout mastery. It's going to help a lot. There are some low pressure stuff. Yeah, I don't really play with flight that often, but first things first, as a controller, you want to be far, far away. You want to be ranged. You do want to be ranged. Now, sadly, I have this pretty much magnificent one-hander that I got from Owen Zion Cells, and yeah, it's the best weapon I have. It's a 90.7 DPS. The stats are amazing. The stats are better than what I have. So, I was unfortunate to have to go with this, and I'm not ashamed of it. I may get yelled at by the tank. It's like, hey, make sure to go range, and it's like, hey, I got your powers, settle down. If you're tanking, you don't need to worry about me. But I like the power infinity for controllers with this stuff. Is small chance to restore power to yourself when used against enemies, so it works out very well. So I'm not really going to worry about skill points all that well. Make sure, if you're wanting to test out your skill points or work on your skill points, definitely go over to dcosource.com/build planner, and you can work with the build planner made from Sylvanix. So you want to stay ranged. So pretty much you want to have a bow or dual pistol or hand blaster or rifle. So, but I used to have dual pistol. I'm waiting for Evil Star to drop my epic dual pistol. No, I'm sorry. Parallax has my epic dual pistol. I forgot what Evil Star had that I was really farming for, but anyways. But we're not worried about that. We're going to take a look at the powers. Let's take a look at iconics first. The two iconics that you want as a mental controller will be the Intimidating Gaze and Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon does 50 vitalization, 100 power, while Intimidating Gaze gives you 25 dominance. Now, for your, I'll go into stats in a little bit, so don't fret. Let's go into Telekinesis first. Telekinesis, I put points into Telekinesis. Look at there. Telekinesis is the power to restore power over time. So this is what you need to restore power over time. For controllers, our main job, our main duty is to pump out power. We are power healers, just like sorcery, electricity, and in nature, they heal health, we heal power. So, and this is what we need. Telekinesis is one of those. I also have Psychic Resonance, help us enemies take additional damage, it's just an AoE thing. Bolt Barrage, my 50% supercharge. Thought Bubble, which is amazing CC. It's pretty cool. Psychic Empowerment. Psychic Empowerment is another staple that you need. It's kind of like, it's your fail button, alright? If you have your healer super low and your power over time isn't pumping out well enough, well, then use Psychic Empowerment, and boom, it gives them a nice jump. It gives them a nice jump. Other than that, there's Pyrokinesis, Cryokinesis, and then Telekinetic Shield, which I just have just as a failsafe because I like to. I mess up a lot. And then Illusion, I have Psychic Blades, which Psychic Blades is another power over time. Then we have Menace, which for here's one of those DPS purposes. This right here will increase the stun duration on terrified enemies, and so terrified enemies will take additional damage from that as well. Mass Hysteria is another great DPS DPS supercharge. 100%. It summons a bunch of dark creepy shadow dudes that look like Judge but purple, and they all just go in there and just they just destroy. Then we have Phantom Flames and Horrific Visage. So I want to take a look at we're going to take a look at my loadout, but this is right here is my spec. This is my spec because I have I needed to make sure I get some specific powers to go with specific roles. So we're going to take a look at those roles by looking at my loadout. My loadout for controller, I have Psychic Blades, Telekinesis, Psychic Empowerment, Cryokinesis, Phantom Flames, and Horrific Visage. So let's go over from left to right what I do with my loadout. Alright, Psychic Blades is my power over time. Alright, I open up with Psychic Blades. Psychic Blades does an AoE out to everyone, and then once Psychic Blades is done, I also have Telekinesis, which it's technically only a single target, but the main objectives for both of these is not for the DPS purposes. It's actually to pump out power. Now, they have different cooldowns, so that's why you want to have both of them on there. Next up is Psychic Empowerment, that oh shit, they need power button. After that, we have Cryokinesis, and Cryokinesis in controller role reduces the target's damage output. It decreases the boss's damage so they don't hit that hard. It helps everybody, but the power interactions as well. It inflicts frostbite to make enemies vulnerable to freezing effects and may encase frostbitten enemies. The encasement only works for like trash. I haven't really seen a boss get in that type of field. Next up is Phantom Flames. The controller role for it reduces the enemy's defenses, so they will take more damage, and it inflicts burning to cause damage over time. Terrified enemies take additional damage. A nice little... So, for you DPS people, a nice combo for that would be Menace to increase the damage for terrified enemies, and then... Actually, I think that's what it does, right? Increases the stun duration on terrified enemies, so it's actually not... It increases the stun duration, so you put terrified, you put Menace on there, open up with Phantom Flames, and they take additional damage. And then lastly, I have Horrific Visage, which in controller role reduces the target's ability to heal and removes power over time effects. This is kind of the PvP, a PvP ability, but it also works in the aspect of our PvE that I use it for, which reduces the target's ability to heal. If you're wondering how that works for PvE purposes, there are a couple of bosses that do heal themselves if you don't interrupt it. Specifically, the ones I do have on top of my head are the ones in the new Brainiac duos, the 3 new ones, like with the South Gotham and everything stuff. Especially the one that summons the 3 heal bots. It reduces the healing that the heal bots do to that boss to heal them. So it works out. Alright. I'm trying to remember. I think I have the ability that you can switch these powers out. And by switching them out, I mean you can see like right here, Phantom Flames. It reduces the enemy's defenses. If you don't want to use Phantom Flames, you can use Thought Bubble. Thought Bubble reduces the enemy defenses as well. What is another one? Pyrokinesis. Do I have Pyrokinesis on there? No. Pyrokinesis reduces the target's ability to heal and remove targets. And this one probably should be one I probably should use, but no. Actually, I remember why I don't have it. yeah, Pyrokinesis, it does inflict burning damage, causing damage over time. Helpless enemies take additional damage. Enemies encased by ice, nature, mental, light, earth, or gadgets will explode and damage nearby enemies. That's the power interaction for Pyrokinesis. If I remember correctly, there is a... I don't think it's a bug, but it's how the game is now intended. You can't have... The Pyrokinesis causes burning, but so does Phantom Flames. So you can't use both of them. It's not like you're gonna have two dots on them. That is how it worked at launch. But they fixed it, I believe, in one of the early updates. I don't know which one specifically because I can't remember that far. But so you can't use Pyrokinesis and Phantom Flames at the same time. If you're just wanting to use it for the purposes of the controller role. If you just want to switch out Horrific Visage for Pyrokinesis just for how the power interaction or the controller role is, go for it. But just understand that you're not going to get the burning dot damage from Phantom Flames and Pyrokinesis. And you know what? I'm just going to try it out. Let's see if it will work. Because I remember it was fixed, but you know what? There are some things that were supposed to be fixed that just aren't. So we're going to come over here. Alright. And hopefully I'm not going to interrupt this person, but I'm sorry if I do. So I'm going to use Phantom Flames first, which we see the damage, the dot damage there. And then... well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Hold on, we're going to go to a different one because he's messing me up. Alright, so I'm going to open up with Phantom Flames. We see the 12 dot damage there, and then Pyrokinesis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now using Pyrokinesis from now on. Pyrokinesis does heavier damage, and apparently it does stack the dots. I thought this was how it wasn't supposed to do that, but apparently now it does. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yay. So apparently I just learned something new, and I've now fixed this. Yay! Let's go back to our loadouts. And I'm gonna put horrific Visage back on there, just so you can see what it does. So let's take a look at the abilities on how they actually work. So we have Psychic Blades and Telekinesis are my first two abilities. Psychic Blades does AoE out there. If you notice, under me there is a green lightning bolt. As a controller, if this green lightning bolt is not under you, you are failing and you need to fix it. How do you fix it? Well, my friends, you shoot out Psychic Blades. Alright? Shoot them out. Shoot out Psychic Blades or use Telekinesis. It does the same thing. And it even CCs the target. So it's not like it doesn't hurt. Let me actually use Psychic Blades. Yeah, see, Psychic Blades is on a longer cooldown than Telekinesis is. Now they don't, they do not stack on how the power outs do. So it's not you're going to get double if you use them. It's kind of like you want one for AoE and the other one for single target. Okay, so that's how you want to think of it. And then Psychic Empowerment just does that quick burst of stuff. And for us, it increases our might and our precision. Let me actually see if I can bring out the buff real fast before it disappears. Is it going to disappear? Oh, no. Psychic Empowerment. For me, increases 62% precision and 77 might. My Telekinesis is bringing out 70 power. So that's pretty cool. Let me actually check my Psychic Blades. See if my Psychic Blade... It shouldn't change. It shouldn't. Yeah. So with my stats right now, I bring out 70 power to my group. Alright, so let's now take a look at my next ability, which is Cryokinesis. Cryokinesis does root them and freeze them in place like you see, and it does decrease their damage output, which I don't know where my target is. There it is. The red reticule, or the red crosshair you see there, that signifies that their damage output has been decreased. Next up, I'm going to go back to Phantom Flames. The defense shield shows that their defense is lowered. I'm going to go back to that. And then Pyrokinesis, which is awesome. And that lowers the target's healing ability. So as you see, those 3 debuffs are what the boss needs at all time. So, and thank you for the power out. So this is my loadout. I do power out and I do the debuffs as well. So overall, let me go through this again because I am going to go through this until I feel that everyone gets it. So understand that this is the last time, all right? I'm going to do Psychic Blades just to get my power out there. Next up, Cryokinesis for the damage, then your defense, and just in case you have a healing ability, let's call it like that. So there's my debuffs all together. Now it says it's giving me 70. I'm giving out 70 power per everyone, but I feel that it shows I'm getting like 125, and I'm okay with that. All right, so that's our loadout. Let's take a look at the stats. Now I have some socketed stuff. I think this is my only character that is socketed. I have my tier 2 back. I have tier 1 legs and tier 1 feet. I only have 3 tier pieces, all right? And then a Brainiac thing and just some other stuff. So let's take a look at stats. Now for your stats, as a controller, you need to stack 2 things. You need to stack Dominance and you need to stack Vitalization. My Vitalization is at a nice 795. So let's see. Vitalization increases power healing effects. 10 Vitalization equals to 1% power regen. Cool. And then Dominance is on a controller. As a controller, the more dominance we have, the additional damage enemies will take before the control breaks. So if we go over here and you see that, oh look, they're stunned, that's a control. They are stunned. If I even do this, you see that? That's controlled. And so they're going to take additional damage while they're in that state. As you see, he is just getting wrecked. Because of who? Because of me. Thank you. Just saying. Alright, going back. Oh, wrong button. Going back to stats. Now, for controllers, especially in a raid, when you want to have 2 controllers. You can live with one if the one knows what they're doing and they're on top of it. Like me. Just joking. But this is where controllers can really choose different avenues. There is a fork on the road for controllers that you just need to go one way you can go one way or the other. And you luckily can backtrack and go the opposite direction. Those 2 roads are Vitalization and Dominance. Meaning these 2 roads are actually classified as power out controllers and crowd controllers. Crowd controllers. There, I can go with that. Meaning that if you stack Vitalization, you're going to be doing a lot of power out. You're going to be doing the psychic empowerment. You're going to do the psychic blades, and you're going to do telekinesis to give everyone out their power. If you go Dominance, you're going to be doing the debuffs. You're going to be doing the crowd controls abilities. All right, so you're going to be debuffing everybody. And I'm trying to think. I'm not really sure if they stack or anything. I haven't ran a raid with another controller yet. But so I'm not really sure if my Phantom Flames, the Pyrokinesis and Cryokinesis, I'm not really sure if those will do the damage, but I'm not sure if they will negate the crowd control that the other person's doing. Now, when I'm talking about crowd control, really, what I'm really referring to is, say, Thought Bubble. Encases an enemy within a force field, causing damage over time. I'll actually go to my loadout and I will change that. There you are, Thought Bubble. Let's bring you over here. Let's use Thought Bubble and see what it looks like. See, Thought Bubble. They're taking damage over time. They are crowd controlled. They are there, and they can just take any other amount of damage, and that's what's going to happen to them. Apparently they're getting crushed too, so it's neat. Wow, he's in there for a while. Let's see if I can find... I don't know if I have another crowd control ability, really. I don't think I do. Nope, I don't think I do. I think... I think Thought Bubble is really my only crowd control ability, and if that's the case, I'm not really suitable for crowd control. For my mental controller, I am nothing but violization. I stack violization on top of everything. Ooh, I want to change that back because I don't want to use Thought Bubble. What was I using? Pyrokinesis. Hee. It's cool that the dots stay like that. It's cool. Oh, darn it. I'm in combat still. Because someone's attacking him, that's why. Super dude. Super duper man. Thanks for that, ass. Alright, so hopefully if I attack him, I can get out of combat. Nope, not out of combat, so I can't change it until later. Sweet. Alright, but that's okay. I'm okay. So I can tell you now, I am not the perfect mental controller. I've talked to my guild leader, or my league leader, and he is a great mental controller. So I'm really I'm doing this video just to show you that, hey, even a beginner like me, I can still control. Like I said, you want to try and do either violization or dominance when it comes to how you want your gear. A lot of the Batman 3 raid and actually a lot of the Batman raids were violization heavy when it comes to gear. But you're sometimes going to find yourself with higher violization than dominance, and that's only because of how the gear is spec'd. If you want to do, if you come into a raid or even an alert and there's another controller, you need to ask them. It's like, hey, ask them specifically, what is their VIT? VIT. What is their VIT? Stands for violization. What's their VIT? If their VIT is higher than yours, then they have the duty of power out, while you have the power of crowd control and debuffs and stuff. So you don't need to worry. So they don't need to worry about any of that, any of the debuffs. They just need to power out and stick with it. Well, I'm not really gonna say unfair because it's an MMO. Things change. With controllers, you're gonna realize that maybe if you look at the damage charts, the controllers are out DPSing the DPSers. That's because when in control role, we don't get a damage debuff. We don't get the damage debuffs like tanks and healers do, alright? Our gear is set for that. We just go. And our debuffs and our damage output may be high because of what we're making sure the targets are staying debuffed and we're just really wrecking house. Don't hate on the controller, alright? As long as the controller is debuffing the bosses, as long as the controllers are keeping power out, if their damage is over the DPS, there is no freaking reason to yell at them. There's no reason to flip on them at all. And at the same time, there's no real reason to flip out on the DPS as well. Don't say, ha, DPS sucks, the controller's beating them. No, as you see on my loadout, I have a specific loadout that is criteria. That is what I do. This is what I spam in this order. DPS might not have that role. They might go with, oh, this is on cooldown, so I'm gonna have to go with the next thing. All right. Most of the time, I don't even realize it. And some DPS are either precision heavy or might heavy. It's just how the player is, and it's just how their gear is. So for controllers, make sure that you have your lightning bolts up, and make sure that you have the debuffs on. Other than that, it's a piece of cake. It's a cakewalk. You shouldn't have any other problems. Now, like I said, as you see, I am carrying a one-hander. This is my main weapon. This is my weapon attack. Don't flame me in the comments either. I know that this is what I should not be wearing. This is what should I not be using. I'm waiting to get a ranged weapon that will get rid of this one-hander, alright? I've already respec'd 3 times on this character because of the weapons I've gotten. I've got a great dual pistol. It's like, oh, sweet, got a dual pistol. And next thing you know, it's just ruined. So, thank you all for watching. This is Feet Hunter for Mental Controlling 101. Well, maybe 100 because I'm not really that good. But just understand that you're a mentalist now. Keep your spam psychic blades, spam telekinesis, keep the power outs going, and then just keep the debuffs on. And other than that, you should have no problems ever in anything that you do. Alright guys, this is me for mental controlling. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to post a link in the description for where I get some of my information. The guide is a little old, but it may work out for you. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.